Be like, damn, where all the brothers at? You
Nah,
are the brother.
you it.
You're it.
I would say race is another one. Like whatever you think of other races, just keep it private. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and speaking of race, so I'm glad you mentioned that. You guys are all black. When you guys go work in these IT companies, you're going to find oftentimes that you might be the only black person up in there. Has that been your experience so far, Demetrius?
Oh
If it
yeah,
ain't just
it's
you,
certain.
or it's just a hand, or it's just literally a couple of you up in there,
That
Oh
was
my
my
God.
experience at my first company.
don't be shocked. Be like, damn, where all the brothers at? You
Nah,
are the brother.
you it.
You're it. Because in the IT industry in general, there's only like maybe 6% of the IT force is black people. That's it. We all we got. So when you go into these environments, you don't have to go in there on some step and fetch it stuff, start code switching and acting like Carlton from the Fresh Prince. You can be yourself, but you also have to remember you're going to be working around a bunch of people that may have different cultural upbringing as you. Like my man Demetrius from the hood. I know exactly where he's from. Where I was born in that same area he's from. How we came up and the cultural norms we have, some people, they might not have had that experience. Basically, what I'm saying is where we come from, gold teeth is the thing. Gold teeth and dreadlocks is a thing. And I'm a fan of gold teeth. I used to have gold teeth back in the day. But I'm not going to go into the job trying to get hired and then be there in the first couple of weeks and I got my gold teeth in my mouth. But at the same time, I'm not going to go in there acting like I'm Carlton from the Fresh Prince. I'm still going to be me. But I just have to be mindful because people will make judgments about you. And people, unfortunately, they're going to make stereotypes about you. It is what it is. But if you go in there and show and prove that you're the best, everything from my experience, it typically works out fine. I can't recall any experience, I'm trying to think of one, where I went in there and race was a major issue. Matter of fact, my last company I worked for, I was the only black guy there. Like I say, I'm mixed. So I was the darkest person there. And I'm hella light skinned. You know what I'm saying? And I'm working with some uber preppy white dudes from up north because they moved down to Florida. Most of them were from up north in the New England area. Some of them went to these prestigious colleges doing this, that, and the third. I ain't do none of that crap. I never played lacrosse a day in my life. They like to go to the bar and drink and throw darts at the board. I'm not much of a drinker, and I damn sure don't like playing darts. So I kind of felt awkward when I went to these little social events. But I had to show face. I can code switch, or not necessarily code switch, but my time in the military has allowed me to understand people from different areas to where I don't look like an oddball, but at the same time, I'm not going to sacrifice who I am in order to just appease people because I'm the only brother up in the spot. So I say all that to say, don't be shocked if you find yourself as the only black person in there. Now, nobody's going to be sitting there talking about, ooh, Zakiba, can I touch your hair? Now, they might do that because you do got a lot of hair, but it's not going to be nothing overtly, it shouldn't be nothing overtly crazy, racist, and or prejudice like that. But you just got to realize you are the only black person there. So some people might be in there and they might be looking like they never really been around black people before. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just the reality. Demetrius, you were telling me a story about that not too long ago. Share that story if you don't mind. You ain't got to say no names, but he had a similar experience to that.
Oh yeah, man. I was about to bring it up, so that was a good segue. But yeah, so at my place of work, Tech G brought it to my attention. You have some people where we grew up in Florida. We had Florida, we got everybody. We got Caribbean, Brazilian, whatever. We got everybody, But some places it's like so uniform and monolithic. So it was just certain little things. Like it was this one guy on the job. He would try to talk to me, but you could tell he never been around like a black man before. So the way it was just like he was trying, but it was just like slightly off-putting, but it wasn't like offensive. I don't know how to.
I get it. I get it.
How you doing, brother? Like what?
I could tell you a situation at my last tech job. There was a gentleman who didn't like my demeanor because I asked questions a lot. I was like, because it's my first tech experience, I didn't know anything. So if I didn't know, I'd ask. And he got off put by that. And I was the only black guy there. And it got to the point where I had to, talk to HR because, I'm over here trying to ask questions and they're pulling me aside saying, I'm making people feel uncomfortable and people don't know how to talk to me. And so I understood that this is a completely new area, and that person did get fired because I was putting down the keywords. I feel uncomfortable. Why are you guys coming to me when I'm just asking questions? So as long as you're willing to ask questions and talk to the right people, you should be fine. But it is weird being the only black person in these spaces.
Zakiba, man, that is a great point. I had a similar experience, but I do want to say that's a good thing you ask questions. You do have some places. This is one thing I learned as a contractor. So you have some contract environments. The work environment is like teamwork, but then you have some contract environments to where it's kind of competitive. Like other workers, they don't want to share any information because they feel like if you pass them, then you might take their spot or something like that, you know? So you do have like knowledge hoarding, but we got the internet. So anything, research anything. And by the time you get a couple certs, you get in the habit of researching and studying things. But also, yeah, I'm glad you didn't let that discourage you because that's where I kind of differ from TG.
I was friends with all the HR people. all HR was to my hip. I talk loud so that, you know, my words are not misconstrued. And, you know, I was with all the execs, you know, what do you need? How can I help you? Every day came in with a smile. My energy was top notch. And I actually recently ran into my old coworkers and they're like, we miss you, you know, the place ain't the same. And, you know, most IT people that I've learned going in are introverts and they keep to themselves. And me being an extrovert with how I work, how I talked with people, it allowed me to not only one, get the job, but keep the job as long as I did. And then when problems arise, people are like, oh, that's not that person. You know, I know him. This is how he works every single day. So your demeanor and how you present yourself is very key as well.
And that's what I was going to say, Zakiba, but it sounds like you already know. Like if you're an extrovert or you're able to be cordial with people, that is a huge advantage in IT. You got so many people. I think TG talked about this in some of his videos. You got some people, they cannot talk to people. They are afraid. They get filled with anxiety. If you're willing to show your face, work hard. If there's any like minor workplace rumor or gossip about you, people are like, no, that can't be him because we talk to him every day. He's nice. He's kind. I know I'm the type of person, I bring in snacks every now and then, donuts, you know. But to me, that's just like workplace politics, you know. I try to be, like you said, presentable. So anything come up, because like you said, contracting can get competitive, but I'm all for it.
Y'all got anything else y'all want to ask him? I don't want to keep him here all night.
I'm going to be honest. I think I hit everything. I got the resume, the security clearances, contracts, you know, LinkedIn, Indeed, the salary, references. You told me about the path and how fast it jumped. You talked about your study habits and how diligent you were with your work. You talked about your career path and where you're trying to go. You're trying to stay in government contract and get more security certs so you can get higher. Do you enjoy what you do?
Man, Zakiba, I love what I do. Like, I love what I do, man. I sent TJ a few pictures. Yeah, man, it feels so good to have my own place. It's an apartment. Man, to be out the hood is so peaceful. I'm so like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm so used. I got so accustomed to hearing like loud music, and there's nothing wrong with that, but loud music, people arguing and stuff, dogs walking, and then you come here and it's like, it took me like 2-3 months to adjust because it's so quiet and peaceful. I'm like, you telling me ain't nobody playing their music loud right now? Ain't nobody arguing about it? Like, I was crazy. Like, I'm like, man,
suburbs are nice.
Oh yeah, it's real nice out here. But yeah, I love what I do. I love working for the government. When I come in, you know, on a military base, you know how it is, TG. You get there, you got to have military ID or military ID and to make sure you are who you say you are. You just can't be anybody rolling up on base unless you're given permission. And I think that's pretty cool. I feel like I'm rolling into like the Batcave or something with the amount of security you go through. So yeah, I'm happy I took time to study. I'm happy I met TG. That's why I'm here. I'm telling you, you can make a huge improvement in your life. And then also, you don't have to search stack like me because on one hand, it's impressive, but then on the other hand, a lot of that information, like sometimes when I interview, like if I interview for a certain position, like I make sure to study for that position, but sometimes they might want to ask, like if it's like a Windows role, they might ask me about Linux. I'm like, dang, I don't remember any of the Linux stuff right now. I know I took that test a while ago, but I don't have it fresh on my brain. And believe it or not, there's a guy on my job. He only has Security Plus and he got offered a 6-figure job, but he has like 6-7 years of experience, but Security Plus is his only certs. So
you'll
I'm like,
find people out there like that, because in tech, the most important thing is networking. Networking is reign supreme in anything in life. Then experience, then certifications, then formal education. So that's the
then
order of importance.
my next question would be interview questions. Since you went to the hospital, now you're at the government, how did the questions of them before they were hiring you, how did that vary? And in a way, how did you prep for that if there was prep available?
Man, that is a good question, Zakiba. So if you go government, right, and then a lot of times we're going to have a contracting company or subcontracting company reach out to you first, and the subcontracting company questions going to be very different different from your tech interview. Like when you actually interview with somebody that's working a job, it's going to be very different. The subcontractor pretty much saying they want to see, are you a warm body? Do you have at least an idea of what you're doing? And then also, how do you interact with other people? Like, you know, just nothing crazy. Like you're able to work with other people, you know, you don't get violent if something doesn't go your way, something, you know, simple stuff like that. Subcontracting company are going to ask like pretty much like softball HR questions, like how do you deal with conflict resolution? Have you ever messed up on anything in your previous work environment? If so, did you take responsibility for it? You know, things like that. How do you work with others? Do you prefer to work alone or do you prefer to work in a team environment? What do you plan to do for your IT career? What's your long-term goals? You know, stuff like that. But then when you get the actual tech interview, it's nothing but you might get like a couple HR questions, but then for me, for my position, they wanted to see if I had a decent understanding for virtualization and cloud computing. And they asked, okay, what is a virtual machine? And then I have to answer the question like a virtual machine, and then make sure you want to be calm. I'm just excited to be a part of this. But a virtual machine, it emulates a physical computer system. And then if they're happy with that answer, they call you back and you get the job. So I would say on the job, technical questions, recruiters, softball, HR questions.
Well, I appreciate you showing up, Demetrius, and I'm glad that things are going great for you. You got a great
thanks
career.
for having me.
Thank you for showing up. You know, a living, breathing testimony of the things that I've been saying, and you're actually doing it. Like I said, you've only been doing this for about 2.5, coming up on 3 years, and you're right in that window that I always say you can start off in tech and knowing absolutely nothing. Within 3 to 5 years, be damn near making 6 figures if you're not making 6 figures, assuming you decide you know what you want to do and you want to get serious with your career. Like that's extremely realistic because you don't have a college degree, do you?
Nope.
No college. Like I say, he came from working at Walmart, working at the deli, whipping up sandwiches in the back, to now he out here sending me pictures of him swinging golf clubs on the golf course, man. Like he literally just sent me some pictures of him out there. I'm like, look at this dude. Yeah, hey, Tiger Woods. You know what I'm saying? So these are the type of opportunities that present themselves. And you guys got the same opportunity. You have the same opportunities that will be available to you. It's not rocket science we're doing. It can pay a lot of money like you were a rocket scientist though. So just get focused, pass your certs, know how to do the stuff that you're being trained to do and educated on, and these opportunities they'll be out there. There'll be so many opportunities out there. You'll have to, you know, kind of like, nah, I don't want that. You'll find yourself in a position where you can turn down stuff because you got so much stuff coming in. My LinkedIn, I get recruiters in my LinkedIn inbox at least twice a day asking about, am I open for a job? And I'm pretty sure it's happening with Demetrius. Y'all are going to find yourselves in that position where you could just be in a position where like, I don't want to do that. Nope, they're not paying enough. You don't even have to deal with the damn interview. Like, nope, I don't want that. Or, ooh, I like that. I might entertain that. You're going to be in that position. So that's what awaits you, man.
And I did want to say something. I think since a lot of what we do or aspire to do in IT requires like a lot of mental energy, you got to memorize stuff. You got to be able to recall it if asked promptly. I would say just be sure to set time aside every day just to relax, man. Because that's one thing I see get to a lot of IT people, like to where they might be in a nice little groove, but like maybe stressing their personal life or on their job, it kind of knocks them down. So just make sure you take care of your mental health.
Well, I do want to ask you one more question. So when you're working your regular job, when you clock in, are you studying certifications? Now, I know in your case you are, but let's just say you weren't studying for a cert. What I'm trying to say is you go to work, are you just staring at slideshows, trying to memorize stuff? Or did you just have to stare at these slideshows and learn this just so you can pass a cert and get the job? Once you actually get the job, you're not doing this stuff unless you're preparing to go for another certification.
Man, TJ, that's another good question. So yeah, not staring at slideshows all day. You learn it to pass the cert, and then once you get the cert, you know, it's funny. A lot of times, like it's like CompTIA or whatever certification vendor you go to, they might say, okay, this is how it's done. And then you get the job. It's like, okay, we know it's supposed to be done this way, but in our environment, we do it this way. Yep. So yeah, it's pretty funny, but yeah.
So you're just learning it the quote unquote formal way just so you can pass the cert. But once you get on the job, they're going to teach you how they do things in their operation. And then another thing, when you go to these jobs, like I tell people, like I used to work in a network operations center. You know, you think that's a big fancy term. I was a network administrator. I tell people when I was in there, yeah, we have all these monitors all over the place. We got our systems up on, got a ticketing system on one screen, got my monitoring system monitoring whatever it is I'm monitoring on another screen. I got another program monitoring or doing whatever it is on this screen. But then I got another screen where I'm staring at YouTube and Amazon all day long, surfing the internet, waiting on something, waiting on a phone call to happen, waiting on something to break or whatever the case may be. Well, that's just the life of what a lot of us do. So just keep that in mind as well. Well, I appreciate you coming on here, Demetrius. Y'all got anything before we let them go? Everybody good?
I appreciate you coming out and answering our questions. This really helped me, focus more on how to pretty much, make this a lot easier going forward. I think that being able to ask these questions from someone who's still in and just got started, it really helps, at least for me and those who might watch the replay, understand what they need to do, how to do it, and then what to do going forward. And I think I'd have to go back to like you saying you love what you do. I think that's really important, and that helps, make me know I'm in the right place as long as I'm around folks that have the same mindset. I enjoy helping people and learning more and improving on myself. And then you get the qualities of life that comes with that. You got your own place, quiet space, and the sky's the limit. So I appreciate you coming on, Demetrius, and sharing your experience.
You're welcome. I'm glad I was able to help both you. Like Tech G was a huge help for me, so I want to give that back. I do want to tell you, both you guys seem pretty confident, but I know for me, I was a little bit intimidated. But now that I'm in the work environment, it's not as intimidating as it seems. And when you get in your work environment, you might be amazed at how certain people are given certain positions just by having a cert,